Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Gonzii and today we are going to be reacting to another Geographic video, bro. This time called One Mistake Cost This Pelican Everything. And yes, I look like trash, I sound like trash, is because I was trying to sleep. I had two very poor sleeping days recently and I was trying to go to bed, but for whatever reason, my body does not allow me to sleep unless I have a video recorded, which I was planning to do tomorrow, which means I slept 1 hour and 47 minutes, which I'm pissed and therefore I look like trash. So ignore me, let's just react to bro, alright? And I forgot my water, give me a second. Water in hand, let's begin.
This video contains gore. If you're sensitive to that, just scroll off. I promise you I won't think any less of you. I'm only making this video to remind y'all that this specific animal does not play around.
No.
So we know that pelicans are big bird with a vor fetish that'll attempt to swallow anything that isn't nailed down. Well, this pelican tried an animal that it thought was a fish, only for that animal to do this. I'm gonna give y'all time in the comments. Just what animal do you think did this?
Crocodile.
Put your guesses in. It was actually a turtle. The turtle managed to clamp its jaws on the pelican and tear its beak pouch completely. Now for context, some turtles allegedly have jaws strong enough to bite through a broomstick, which also means they can probably leave you with less fingers than you were born with. Now I can't really say for sure what kind of turtle did this, but since this happened in Barapur, India, my best guess is that it was a giant soft shell. I only say that because soft shells are known for being hyper aggressive, trigger happy, and just overall phalluses, but if you watch Gumball, you already knew that. As for what happened to the pelican, I ain't even gonna lie to you, he definitely starved to death. Moral of this video, nature's a bitch.
It is. No! A drenched penguin, bro, is so funny. Why is bro drenched?
There's that one person that refuses to get in, so some comedian decides to throw them in the water. And instead of making a scene, they just make that awkward, low-key heated walk back to their chair. That's what this reminds me of. Anyway, that is a king penguin chick going through puberty. That is what an underage king penguin looks like. That fluffy brown coat helps keep them warm, but it's not water, bro. So while both his parents go grocery shopping in the sea, the king penguin chick stays behind and lives off the fat it's stored from having to involve parents in its life. So chunky by design. Gets to the point where the chicks can end up outweighing their own parents. Plus, being an absolute unit protects the unaccompanied minors from threats like skuas, petrels, and sheathbills. 3 birds that could have kept Happy Feet from a sequel. After about a year, the chicks go from walking brown balls to their waterproof, more dynamic adult versions. This gremlin's just what an awkward teen face looks like. It's literally its ugly duckling arc, but with a dash of Danny DeVito. Now that you know he's basically a teenager, rewatch that video and suddenly his attitude makes a lot of sense. You know ants are like low-key psychopaths? There's a species of ant that will enslave other ants to get free labor out of them. Ants like Ants like Protomagnathus americanus will invade the nests of weaker ants and slaughter any soldiers that try to step to them. Sometimes even to the point of putting the ant queen on a shirt. Then they break into the nursery, kidnap as many larvae as possible, and take them all back to their own colony. You see where this is going, right? When the snatched up minors become of age, they become slaves to the host colony and the parasite queen. These slave ants get finessed into working for the colony that stole them and possibly erase their entire family. Some slave ants will care for and protect the colony larvae, even though they're all different species. And some of these ants will even join their kidnappers on raids of other nests. And because the ants were technically born there, they have no way of knowing that their entire existence is a lie. Or at least, that's what you would think. Because some of these slave ants do turn on their masters, and they rebel by obliterating as many of the colony's eggs as physically possible.
Oh wow, they fight back!
They
fight back!
In some cases, the abducted ants knock off more than half the host colony's eggs. It's like if instead of Candyland, Jamie Foxx TNT to daycare. Yeah, being an ant is way more dramatic than you think.
It is.
It's like Game of Thrones, but with less dragons and more dirt and probably better writing. And if you ever wanted to know just how ants live, the Ants Underground Kingdom is the world's first ant colony strategy.
Give this boy his bag, man. Shout out to you, my boy. Get your bag, bro. Come on, man. What the hell is that, dude? A condor.
This might be the one time I can say it's not as bad as you think. That is a baby Andean condor. It's basically a vented vulture. They're the largest birds of prey, but they eat most animals that have already expired, which makes the fact that they can have a wingspan of nearly 11 feet way easier on my mental. Also, they have one of the longest lifespans of any bird, with some surviving up to 70 trips around the sun. And because they have a huge wingspan and fly over heat thermals, this Jurassic Park understudy can spend hours in the air without flapping once. And if they didn't have the same meal plan as a coffin, they'd be a fucking problem. Especially since they have a pretty good reason to want beef with us, since we destroyed most of their habitat and nearly poisoned their entire population into a pack. So to help this dinosaur from becoming a history lesson, people would raise condor chicks and help get them ready for the wild. And to keep them from becoming too attached to humans, handlers would feed them using hand puppets that look just like their parents. And even though we nearly knocked them off the census today, they're vulnerable but no longer endangered. If you still think this is scary, it's because I didn't show you the end of the video.
That's cute, man. Bro's just eating a lolly. Oh, I've seen this clip before.
Nah, see, the thing is, there's a reason he did that, and it is 100% our fault. So baboons live in troops that can have up to 200 members. That's with 2 zeros. And in baboon society, it's the highest ranking baboons that get to eat first. Which is why the lower ranks often get pocket checked by the bigger, meaner, dominant ranks. Now the problem with that is because of the way baboon society works, any human that feeds a baboon is automatically seen as really low in the caste system. And if you mess around and feed a bunch of them, you're basically seen as
don't show them your teeth as well, man. Don't do that.
Frequently, some baboons will see all humans as low ranks and expect people to feed them off principle. Which a lot of people do because y'all don't listen. Like, there's signs up everywhere, but y'all become Helen Keller to common sense when a phone's involved. Because these baboons now see humans as low-ranking monkeys, if you don't hand whatever food you have over, they can and probably will square up with you. And those are problems neither you or your health insurance want any parts of. Because they have the honest-to-God power to eliminate Face ID as an option for you permanently. Did you know kangaroos have been known to ask humans for help? Research has shown that kangaroos are smart enough to try to communicate with people to get them to do them a favor. Basically, there was an experiment where a kangaroo was given a clear plastic container that it could see had food inside. After the kangaroos would try and fail to open the boxes, they would then go to the human that put it there and kind of just nudge at them and even scratch them lightly. Kind of like a toddler trying to get his mom's attention. Also, they would do this while making eye contact with the human and also looking down at the container, kind of like, ain't gonna open itself. And the kangaroos wouldn't stop doing it until the person eventually opened the box for them. It might not seem like much, but we used to think this would only happen with animals that were domesticated, like dogs, goats, and horses. But in this experiment, 10 out of the 11 roos would stare at the person that put the box there when they realized they couldn't open it themselves. Nothing was wrong with the 11th, he was probably just an idiot. But yeah, kangaroos are pretty cool. They're not trying to reverse baptize you.
Mystery green forest snake floating in a swamp in Thailand.
That's creepy, man. What like Grinch's weapon, bro?
I just want to say I appreciate how
it's Grinch's piece dangling like that, bro.
For fun, and then something out of the Grinch's sex drawer goes viral. Now it's my job to talk about it. I just think it's funny. Anyway, that's a water snake, specifically a puff-faced water snake. It's found in Southeast Asia, including Thailand, where that video was taken. Now they're mildly venomous, and they use it to catch prey, which means they're ambush hunters that'll wait for fish like guppies or catfish just to catch them slipping. And as ambush hunters, that means they can be posted up in the same spot for hours. It's kind of like snapping turtles. That and the fact that some snakes can hold their breath for the length of a Netflix special is how all that moss eventually grew on this snake. It's the same reason sloths end up becoming a welcome mat for monkeys, because they move just about as much as one. Also, I know I said venomous, but not really enough to be a threat to your way of life. So Sparknose's version, mildly venomous aqua snake wearing a moss jacket. Or the Grinch has a very active and questionable love life.
Probably does be. What the fuck is that?
The way y'all made me feel like a fraud for 30 seconds. Cause I legitimately thought this might have been real and just managed to never see it before in my life. Come to realize this is the equivalent of amputating a person, giving them gorilla arms, and then hitting them with a shovel. Either that Krabs or Mrs. Puff took their relationship to a very f***ed up level. But I will say this might not be real, but this is a fish called a sea robin. They're bottom feeders that evolved 6 crab-like legs that they use to walk across the seafloor as they look for food hundreds of feet down in the crotch of the ocean. Not only that, but those legs help them track down prey since they're sensitive to the amino acids.
Million years away from going to surface, you know.
Basically, imagine having an extra leg with a built-in food GPS. Also, they apparently croak like frogs when they're out of the water. Imagine being the first person to ever see this. Nobody believe you and you'd probably get checked into rehab.
Beaver.
God done dropped some DLC and this time it's a shiny. This is actually an albino.
That's a shiny beaver, yeah.
It's either a travel-sized beaver
if
or
you
an
know,
economy-sized
you know,
rabbit,
bro. It's not Pokemon, man.
Those two. They can weigh nearly 20 pounds, they're usually found in or near water, and they're one of the most destructive forces in nature because they can single-handedly destroy a wetland just by being themselves. And since female nutrients can get pregnant literally the day after they add more names to the roster, birth control is just a myth to them. They're considered an invasive species in North America, Asia, Europe, Africa, basically anywhere outside of South America they're considered illegal. But the only reason they're there in the first place is because they were introduced there by fur farmers. Basically, we brought them here, they started doing too well, and now we're mad that they're here. Ain't that a bit? Stop what you're doing, I need y'all to hear about this thing I just learned about. This is a macaque. You gotta be real careful how you pronounce that. Barbarian macaques are endangered with only about 8,000 of them left in the world. Which is why it's important
we call those
to multiply without a calculator as much as they can. Which is also why the Stafford Zoo in England hired Marvin Gaye to sing his greatest hits to them in an effort to get the
gorilla is the same, it's gorilla.
You know. Okay, it wasn't actually him, it was just a very committed impersonator.
Baboon, very similar.
An impersonator that sang Let's Get It On to a park of endangered monkeys to get them to fornicate each other. That is a sentence, I just said it and it's completely factual. Now, we won't know for sure if it actually worked until late spring, early summer, since that's when macaques tend to give birth. But it's the second funniest thing a zoo ever did to wingman an animal.
That's
playing
facts.
videos from Panda Hub to get the Oreo bears to touch each other will never not be number one.
So yeah, that was actually a thing, by the way. In order to, because pandas apparently have a real trouble of mating, apparently. That's why they are like on the one of the reasons why they are really on the verge of extinction is because they are really lazy and don't want to do it. So they have to be shown how to do it, which is kind of weird. Who collects those tapes, bro? Just asking. But guys, thank you so much for watching the video, man. I'm so sorry I look like trash and I sound like trash. Is it just because I don't know what it is, man? It happens. It's not the first time, but it happens every time I have a video recorded for the next day. It happens every single time. I go to bed, bro. 1-2 hours later, I'm fully awake. It's not even like I was sleeping, I awake, and then I can go straight back to sleep. No, it don't work like that. When the stuff like this happens, I cannot go to sleep, bro. I've tried multiple times. I'm hours in bed, nothing works. So yeah, I will record this video, I will edit this video, and then I'm going straight back to bed. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching the video, man. If you guys enjoyed as much as I did, guys, with Geographic stays the GOAT. But before you go, don't forget to subscribe on the channel, mate. Come on, bro. Keep God first as always. Drink water, go tell somebody you love them, and if you're here, I know what to do, man. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. My name is Gonzii, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.